Understanding boundaries. Setting boundaries is an important aspect of self-care. One of the key components of setting boundaries is understanding the difference between commitments and obligations. In this video, we will explore the differences between commitments and obligations and provide tips for setting healthy boundaries. Understanding commitments. A commitment is a pledge or promise to do something. Commitments can be positive or negative depending on our perspective. In either case, we have intentionally signed up for the event, action, or request. When we commit, we are intentional. Committing to those acts you fully intend to uphold builds self-confidence and trust in others. Alternatively, the act of setting a boundary, or not committing, is a practice many of us find difficult. Boundaries help serve your commitments. Knowing your boundaries and holding strong enables better trust in the actions you commit to. We are in the driver's seat when we commit. Understanding obligations. An obligation is a duty or responsibility that we feel compelled to fulfill. We may not have committed to it, but we feel socially, legally, or morally obligated to it. Obligations cause suffering when the individual is resistant to the action. Most often, there is. You can think of obligations as commitments we didn't fully commit to. Understanding an obligation separate from a commitment can help with your perspective. When we uphold our social, legal, or moral obligations, we build self-confidence and trust in others. The big problem with obligations is we didn't agree to them and often don't want to adhere to them. There's great power in overcoming this. Pushing against only prolongs suffering and adds gravity to the specific obligation. We are obligated to these tasks, and your perspective will determine your overall degree of pain throughout the process. Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is an important part of prioritizing self-care. Before you can set boundaries, you have to understand what you are comfortable committing to. Boundaries support your commitments. Obligations can be intentionally committed to with the right perspective. For the people pleasers, this can be a difficult practice to apply to real life. When setting boundaries, start small with little things you know you can set a boundary for and build from there. For example, if a team member needs a lot of hand-holding and interrupts your day consistently, you can set time boundaries on when they are free to set up a time to talk. You've opened a door for communication but set a boundary for what works best for you. Boundaries are the glue that holds it all together. When you are intentional with your commitments, uphold and reframe your obligations, and set healthy boundaries, you increase trust in others and minimize stress and anxiety in yourself.